and welcome to my dark little book nook. Today we will be discussing the brand new release from Quill&Crow Publishing House entitled Violent Delights and Midsummer Dreams. This is a collection of 9 tales of Shakespeare retellings. And what I liked particularly about this is that you do not need prior knowledge of the original plays in order to enjoy these, which I did on a beach in Greece, and it was just perfect. Now I have to say that I am not sponsored, I'm not paid. I wish I was, but I'm not. And this is just my 100% honest review of this particular book. Now, as I said before, you don't need prior knowledge of the original plays in order to enjoy this. And this is a spoiler warning. As I discuss these tales, there might be spoilers in them. Enter at your own risk. You were warned. So first up is A Document in Madness by Melissa Brinks, and this is a retelling of Hamlet. More specifically, a retelling of Acts 4 and 5 from Hamlet, this time from Ophelia's perspective. Now it begins with Ophelia accidentally drowning in a brook after her father's murder. However, therein lies the twist, because Ophelia is not dead. She comes back and has some choice things to say to her father's murderer and her would-be lover. Now, Prince Hamlet is not mentioned by name, but you know his character from the brooding, morose self-pity that encircles him throughout. I quite like this one because Ophelia is not some damsel in distress. She is quick and mad and mourning, and will go down with blood in her teeth or not at all. For the second one, we have Othello, an American tragedy by Cedric May. Now this reimagining of Othello has the setting of a South American plantation, and as much as the original play is just one hot mess of a mindfuck, it surprisingly fits really well. Othello is the overseer, Desdemona is the master's daughter, Brabantio is the master, and Iago and Emilia are slaves. And everything that happens in this happens at the end, so it's not at the beginning of the play, it's the events that happen nearer the end. And with one innocent handkerchief, events are set in motion, and in the dark of the night, revenge will have consequences. In The Woods Did Sing, a retelling of The Tempest, L.K. Kitney lets us experience the witch Miranda learning her powers on a deserted island, with Caliban, her father Prospero, and Caliban's mother. And there to screw up the serene surroundings is the malevolent trapped spirit of Ariel, who has corrupted Prospero and is working on setting themselves free. But can Miranda really defeat this spirit and free them all? Or is she about to find that she is just as trapped as the spirit, if not more so? In Such Sweet Uncleanness, I tried saying that too fast before, which is a retelling of the play Measure for Measure, which I had never heard of and had to look up. Amelia Mangdon tells the tale of untold corrupted delights that await Angelo in the deep dark swamps. And Angelo as a character is hard to like, and to be honest I don't think you're supposed to. And he is hell-bent on lighting up all the dark corners of the world, getting rid of brothels, getting rid of any pleasures that can come from the body. But then he meets the tantalising Isabella, and she lures him into the swamps because he basically blackmails her. But from her tantalising embrace just out of reach to the actual drowned embrace of Mariana, this tells the tale of what happens when you light all the dark corners of the world. Then the dark creatures have no choice except to come out and play. Number 5 is The Marriage of Beatrice Messina, which is a retelling of Much Ado About Nothing. Another one that I've never read. But this asks the question, what happens when a lover dies before true love is realised by any of them? Beatrice and Benedict are unfortunately parted before they can declare their love for each other, or even realise it themselves. But Beatrice's ghostly lover is back and aims to have her join him before he will see her wed another. But when it really comes down to it, can Beatrice really go through with the wedding? Or does Benedict ask too much in return for her love? In We Unhappy, Sabrina Howard tells the short tale of the two gentlemen of Verona. And it is a short tale of the most exquisite revenge. Everybody's out for it. Proteus has wronged Julia, and with Sylvia at her back, delicious victory and imminent freedom are just within reach. But when everything is planned out to perfection, does that really mean that nothing can go wrong? This is a perfect quick revenge tale for love spurned and the dangers of hidden waterfalls. In To Make the Devil's Blood Run Cold, Matthew Rhys gives us a bold new viewpoint on the events leading up to and including the double suicide of the pinnacle of romance and the original miscommunication trope, which is Romeo and Juliet. But this is not a tale of star-crossed lovers just waiting to be together. This is a tale of a demon-consorting Friar Lawrence who is hell-bent on settling old scores with the families of Montague and Capulet. And I really liked this one. I am not one for, oh, it's so romantic. Let's just not communicate and off ourselves because I'm so in love that I need to kill myself. Or act like I've killed myself. And then when I actually do, because my acting is so good, it's not. My love unalives himself too, and then I wake up and he's dead, and then I must do it too. Instead of just talking like normal people. Honestly, just write a text or a letter. Romeo and Juliet was not one for me. Reading Lend Me Thy Hand, which is a take on Titus Andronicus, was like being part of a fever dream where not much happens and there are many, many questions, and then a lot happens all at once and you're left there sort of like, what the fuck? In this one, we have the perspective of Lavinia, and she is the daughter of Titus and has neither hands nor tongue. And this setting is on trick-or-treating, it's on a Halloween night. Perfect. Just perfect. And it ends up being that her father, Titus, bakes the two princes of the realm into pies and feeds them to their mother in revenge for what the boys did to Lavinia. That is why she has neither hands nor tongue, because she was essayed, essentially. Now, I had never heard of this play, I'd never read it, and reading the brief overview of it and knowing that Shakespeare wrote this in the 1600s is just... It's like one big mindfuck. You're left there like, what? Yeah, but it's enjoyable. And lastly, we have the perfect little tale to end this collection with, and it is Follow Darkness Like a Dream, a retelling of some of the things that happen in A Midsummer Night's Dream by Erin Keating. Hilda is writing a play for the village to be performed at midsummer, and she goes up into the mountains to write it because that is where her so-called broken spectre, the shadows of the mountain, are there, and they help her. They're her muses, and all she wants is to sleep longer in their dark embrace, and it's quite seductive how they're pulling her in. When she is awake, Helen is engaged to Demetrius, but all she wants is to feel her friend Helen's touch and the dark embraces of the mountain shadows. But with her play nearing completion, are the shadows really content with just lending a helping hand? Or do they demand more in payment for their services? Now, I really liked this collection of retellings. It's dark, it's haunting, it's twisted, and it's just perfect. From the madness of Ophelia, the wildness of Miranda, the corrupted delights that open before Angelo, the exquisite revenge of Julia, the whole new perspective on the original star-crossed lovers, which for me works, as you might have guessed, works a hell of a lot better than the original romantic miscommunication trope. Much better the darker web spun by Matthew. to my personal favourite. I mean, it was hard to pick a favourite in this, but this one is my personal favourite, which is The Marriage of Beatrice Messina, which is hauntingly beautiful, and I could read it over and over and over again. It makes me want to read the original, but I still feel that I might like this take a lot better. Reading through this collection, it gave me a reignited curiosity to read the original plays, because, I mean, you read them in school and you think Shakespeare and you think, he's a stuffy playwright from the Elizabethan era, when actually when you read these plays, they are saucy and they are dark and they are gritty and they're fun and they're sarcastic and some of them you read and you think, what the hell was he drinking when he was writing this? Was he on something? Was he on opium when he was writing some of this? Because some of his plays are just weird. So I will be putting Shakespeare's plays on my to be read pile, and I'll probably get to it in a couple of 100 years with all the rest that's on there. But for me, this book in particular gets a glorious rating of 5 stars. How could I not? I couldn't put it down. I liked every story. I couldn't pick one that I didn't like. And believe me, I tried when I realised that I didn't have any criticism of it. I tried to find something I didn't like, and I just couldn't. Which is fantastic. And this book was published on the 24th of June this year, Midsummer Day. Could it be any other? But if you like the sound of this book, I will link both the original publishing website and Amazon down below, and let me know what you think. Have you read any of Shakespeare's plays recently? Did you have to do them in school? Would you like a review of the originals? Please let me know, and as always, keep reading.